Alright, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of TEW Local Global 1987. We're back with some GCW. And before we start this episode, Merry Christmas. Alright, let's get straight into today's episode. So starting us off with GCW Fuel. We got the Syndicate in the ring, Steve Austin. Well, not the Syndicate, just Steve Austin. Alright. And Austin cuts a promo on Brian Pillman, and that entices Brian Pillman to come out, and he is attacked by Ken Shamrock and the Big Show. But Al Snow makes the save for Brian Pillman, and it's announced that tonight we're going to see Brian Pillman and Al Snow teaming up to face off against Show Rock. Alright, let's go. Mortis in action next. He defeats Mark Marrow in 7:52 with a flatliner. But after the match, Mortis and Wrath beat down Mark Marrow, but Rockabilly makes the save. Gets a 66. Not too bad. Lismark Jr. versus Kama Mustafa is up next, and of course, Kama gets the victory in 3 minutes with a corner body splash. 57. We got Battle of the Mikes up next, and of course, Mike Awesome gets the victory over Mike Enos. One half of the tag team champions, Mike Awesome. I don't know who he's facing at Championship Wrestling. If he's facing anybody, I don't think he is. Nope, doesn't look like it. Alright. But 69 is what it gets. Afterwards, we have Maivia backstage, and he asks Rocky Johnson why did he not help him last week when Maivia was getting beaten down by Farouk, and Rocky Johnson apologizes, says he's retired, but next time he'll be there for him. So it gets an 80. And that's fine. Let's go to our next segment. We've got Harlem Heat versus Too Cool, and Harlem Heat get the victory in 7:38. Pretty good. 79. Not too shabby. We're backstage with Johnny Valiant, and he announces that at Championship Wrestling, we're going to see Alex Wright defend the Cruiserweight Championship against Chavo Guerrero. Not Eddie, but Chavo. So it gets an 88. Kevin Nash versus Marty Jannetty is up next, and in 9:37, Kevin Nash defeats Marty Jannetty with a jackknife powerbomb. It's 56. Television Championship match is up next, DDP versus D'Lo Brown, and D'Lo Brown gets the victory. However, it's by countout after Chris Candido attacks Diamond Dallas Page. Backstage with Billy Kidman, and he meets up with Mankind. And he tells him, Mankind, thank you very much for helping me last week, but I don't need your help. I know what I'm doing with the flock. I'll be okay. And we've got our main event up next. Brian Pillman and Al Snow defeat Show Rock in 13:32 when Brian Pillman defeated the Big Show with Air Pillman. So 69 for Al Snow, 86 for Brian Pillman, 86 for Ken Shamrock, and 59 for the Big Show. So it gets a 75. And afterwards, the Syndicate beats down Brian Pillman and Al Snow, but Sting makes the save, coming down from the rafters to take out Shamrock and the Big Show, but Austin manages to get away. It's an 83. Not too shabby. Alright. Steven Regal injured. That's not good. Alright, we're going to go to our next show, which is GCW Fuel. I'm not showing you Shogun Saturday. It's just so I can expand the GCW to Japan. So I'll show you what's going on at the next week, which is the go-home show to Championship Wrestling. Let's get to that right now. Alright, second show of today's episode, and before we get into it, I have to announce GCW Shogun Saturday is officially over. The 3 weeks of Japan I'm done with. The Japan Heavyweight Championship is still a thing, but GCW is no longer touring in Japan because I got a broadcaster in Japan, so I don't have to do events there anymore. And it saves me more time just booking GCW Fuel. So, let's get straight into it. Starting us off, we've got Brian Pillman, Steve Austin, they're in the ring, talking shit. And J.J. Dillon comes out, and he announces that these two are facing off at Championship Wrestling. We already knew that. But they have a special guest referee, and that man's going to be Dustin Rhodes once again. Alright. 93. Mark Mero and Rockabilly defeat Jerry Flynn and Mike Enos. They don't have chemistry, so that sucks because they have a tag team match this Sunday against Wrath and Mortis. So that's going to suffer a little bit, but whatever. Not the end of the world. I need them to team up for the storyline, so that's how it's going to be. 46. Al Snow promo. Johnny Valiant comes out, and he agrees to reinstate Al Snow if Al Snow can defeat Johnny Valiant at Championship Wrestling. So we have this match this Sunday as well. Kenta Kobashi from GCW Japan's side defeats Johnny Swinger. GCW Japan obviously no longer a thing, so I think I only kept like 4 of the hires I had made for Japan, Kenta Kobashi being one of them. Kaz Hayashi being another, he's also featured on the show. Wally Yamaguchi as a referee, and Satoshi Kojima, obviously. 429, Kenta Kobashi gets the victory. Gene is interviewing DDP, and he agrees to give D'Lo Brown another title shot this Sunday at Championship Wrestling. Speaking of Kaz Hayashi, Eddie Guerrero defeats Hayashi in 247 with a frog splash. And afterwards, Eddie Guerrero cuts a promo. He is pissed that Chavo Guerrero is getting the rematch at Championship Wrestling and not him against Alex Wright. Cruiserweight action, Art Barr versus Juventud Guerrera, and Juvi gets the victory with a Juvi driver. So 60. Perry Saturn is in the ring, and he wants to teach Kidman a lesson. So tonight, or right now, Kidman will be facing off against the other members of the flock, excluding Perry Saturn, because he's getting ready for his match with Mankind this Sunday. 68. Billy Kidman defeats the rest of the flock, except for Perry Saturn, after Mankind attacked all 3 of them. So Mankind helping out Kidman, even though Kidman expressed that he didn't need help. We're in the ring with Farouk, and he cuts a promo. He wants Rocky Johnson in a no disqualification match this Sunday. And of course, Rocky Johnson, who's retired, is going to come out, and he's going to say, no, I can't accept, I'm retired, blah, blah, blah. Rocky Maivia grabs the microphone, and instead he says, you bet your ass Rocky Johnson will be facing you, Farouk. So Maivia accepting the match on his father's behalf. So Rocky Johnson versus Farouk this Sunday as well. Japan Heavyweight Championship on the line. Up next, Satoshi Kojima retains the title against Johnny Ace in 802 with an Emerald Flosion. Kojima makes defense number 1 of the GCW Japan Heavyweight Championship. 64. So Steve Austin is pissed because Dustin Rhodes is the referee, of course. And Ventura tells him, don't worry, I have a plan, as he often does. And up next, we've got our main event. Hunter Hearst Helmsley defeats Chris Jericho in 1430 with a quick cradle. I just didn't know what to put on for the main event, so I decided Triple H versus Jericho. In 1995, maybe not as big a match as it would be in like 2000, 2001, but still a big match nonetheless for GCW. Alright, do I show you who I'm trying to sign? Yeah, I think so. Oh, never mind. It's just Jeff Jarrett. I offered him a lousy deal, but I'm not going to try to compete with the rest of the world, the WWF, WCW, and CWA. CWA has Hogan, by the way. Yeah, they signed Hulk Hogan. He's no longer toxic, so they scooped him right up. I didn't want Hogan. I don't have a place for him in my storylines, so I'll show you guys who I'm trying to sign anyway. Chris Benoit. I'm trying to sign Chris Benoit. It's going quite well, so his return might be coming soon to GCW. And I have another debut who I didn't show off, but he's a country singer, so do your best to guess, but I don't think you're going to be able to guess who it is. It's a country singer. Obviously, it's not Jeff Jarrett, because trying to sign him right here. Figure it out. Alright. We've got one more show this episode. I'm going to be showing the results of Championship Wrestling 174. Let's get to that right now. Alright, we are here at Championship Wrestling 174. Let's get straight into tonight's show. Starting us off, we've got the World Tag Team Championships on the line. Mike Awesome, Disco Inferno, they're defending against Harlem Heat. And Harlem Heat get the victory. So we have new Tag Team Champions at 174. I believe this is the... Is it the 6th or the 7th time they've become champions, Harlem Heat? They are the most successful tag team in GCW, and they continue to add accomplishments to their resume by defeating Mike Awesome and Disco Inferno tonight. So next up is Mero and Rockabilly versus Mortis and Wrath. And Mortis and Wrath defeat Rockabilly and Mark Mero in 9:07. Afterwards, they proceed to beat them down, but Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Jesse James comes out to make the save for Rockabilly and Mark Mero. 67 as this storyline continues. So next up, I believe, is the Farouk Rocky Johnson match. It is. In a decent match, Farouk defeats Rocky Johnson in 9:54 with a Dominator after Rocky Maivia accidentally hit Rocky Johnson. So it gets a 69, but afterwards, Rocky Maivia turns heel and helps Farouk beat down Rocky Johnson. It's not going to go great. Yeah, but that doesn't matter because Rocky Maivia is now a heel in GCW, and he helps Farouk beat down Rocky Johnson. Television Championship on the line next. D'Lo Brown defeats Diamond Dallas Page after Chris Candido attacked DDP. D'Lo is once again the television champion. Just so you know, a lot of title changes on this card. And by a lot, I mean, I don't know, a couple. I didn't really check. Chavo Guerrero defeats Alex Wright in our next matchup. Chavo is the new Cruiserweight champion. We go from one title change to the next. Chavo is the Cruiserweight champion for the 3rd or 4th. I can't remember. Intercontinental Championship on the line next. Mankind defeats Perry Saturn with a pile driver. Mankind makes defense number 1 of the Intercontinental Championship. But after the match, Billy Kidman finally turns on the flock. He is finally done with them. So this just keeps going. And we've got one more match left on this card. Brian Pillman, Steve Austin, World Championship with Dustin Rhodes as the referee. Gets an 84. So here's what happens. Alright, we got the match. They're going at it. Towards the end of the match, Brian Pillman climbs up the top rope. He's going for the air Pillman, right? He dives, diving clothesline coming in. Dustin Rhodes shoves Austin out of the way. So Pillman crumbles down to the mat. Dustin Rhodes hits the Bulldog, hits the pile driver, puts Austin on top of Brian Pillman, and Austin wins the championship, retains the championship. And afterwards, Dustin Rhodes raises Steve Austin's hand as the crowd boos for Dustin Rhodes, the new heel of GCW, helps Steve Austin retain the title. And that's how we're going to end the show. Steve Austin, good job. Mankind, good job. And Perry Saturn did a good job, so I'm going to tell Perry Saturn. I got Chris Benoit, by the way. He signed with us. Alright. So let's see. Conan finishes a tour. APW is founded. 0.25. What did Survivor Series do? 86, so they did slightly better. And what did WCW do? 82, so we did better than WCW. Alright. So here we are. Chavo Guerrero, a 3-time Cruiserweight champion. Mankind still the Intercontinental champion. Satoshi Kojima still the Japan Heavyweight champion. D'Lo Brown, a 2-time television champion. Steve Austin is still the world champion. And Harlem Heat are 6-time world tag team champions. Thank you guys for watching this episode of GCW. Make sure to like if you like this video. Subscribe if you want more. We'll see you guys in the next episode, which will come out very soon. I'm on Christmas break right now. I got plenty of time to record these. So, alright. See you guys. Goodbye.